Hey, welcome to Big Six Sports Talk here, where we'll sort of travel through the previous weeks of our team's ACC challenges and road wins and losses. And we'll always talk about, well, it was a home loss, it wasn't a road loss. It was a home loss. And we have my man, but let me go ahead and start off with the introduction here. We have my man who's going to take us through the U-Ride, Bryant. We got my man over here, J.O., who's going to take us through the North Carolina ride.
Go Tar Heels.
And it's an emotional one. And you have me, the host, Marlon. That's all about them Seminoles, Florida State. Going to take you through that journey. As always, we're going to kick off with the good, the bad, and the ugly from the previous week. Miami get a break. So that was the good for me. I had to see that old ugly ass orange. But they got a break and they come back this week, so we get to dive into a little Miami football at the beginning. So, you know, some people had a nice relaxing week as far as what's coming up with their team being on the bye. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead like we started off with the team who fought hard but still lost. So we'll kick it off with the good, bad, and ugly with my man JR for the Tar Heels.
First of all, I can't say I really don't see a lot of ugly in the game. We had, coming into the game, nobody gave us a shot to even keep the game close. So I don't really have an ugly. But as far as good, I have to start our defense. Our defense came out with a game plan that had Clemson basically searching. You can listen to that one on the game, basically saying Clemson had to earn everything. They earned every yard they got on Saturday. They played an excellent game. Hate to see the Aaron Crawford them go down at the end, and I think they kind of factored into that call where we go for it for the 2-point conversion. As far as the bad, I have to say the offense a little bit, because I think the offense, they had a couple drops. They could have kept a couple drives going. The fourth, I think it was a 3rd and 3 with the Money Brown dropped one that would have been a first down, and then we ended up going for it on 4th down and got nothing, and that's what Clemson scored that go-ahead touchdown when we gave it to them on the 50. And also with the bad, I also had to say I give two play calls to Phil Longo. The one, like I said, on that 4th down when we went for it, I honestly think as good as our defense played at that moment, you punt the ball and you make Clemson go to field. And secondly, even though I actually as a coach agree with the 2-point conversion call, because at that point you playing with house money. What do you have to lose? I mean, you tied, Clemson get scored, they don't. So I agree with it. I just don't agree with the play call. You know, I've never for a quarterback, you know, rolling out, taking away half the field. Give him the whole option to do something with it. But overall, even though it was a loss, I am thoroughly happy with my team this week because we came to play and we kept it much closer than anybody would ever imagine.
I agree with that. And what I do, since my man B here Miami didn't play this week, go ahead and chime in on our team's good, bad, and ugly too. So B, go ahead and chime in, and I add a little context behind it too.
Well, for the good, it's North Carolina's energy in their stadium. That's twice I've seen it be tremendously electric, you know, in Chapel Hill for a big time game, and the fans really gave them the support that that they needed and were looking for. As far as another good was, I like the offensive strategy that your OC had against Clemson. It was very similar to what it was against Miami, and it works. I just don't see why y'all don't do it enough. The bad to me was I don't think that that North Carolina expected to win. So it was like, we fought them tooth and nail, but we're okay with losing this way. When you got the champs on the ropes right now, let's go ahead and give them a knockout. And I think that somehow, some way, it didn't look like that's what they were trying to do toward the end. You know, again, that's my observation of what I saw with it. And there was really no ugly for North Carolina. I have to agree with JR with that. There's really no ugly because they played a heck of a game. You know, there's really no reason why they shouldn't have came out with the win, but that's basically what happened. In regards to what JR was saying on that, as far as going for 2, and to me, without knowing everything about it, you're at home and you've been playing how you've been playing. I would have wanted, but I would have went to overtime to see what happens, because at the end of the day, your defense is playing great, and now you're really putting the pressure on them to make a play, not for you, because you still don't have anything to lose. Whether you lose in the last play of regulation or you lose in overtime, to me they're both the same. But taking them to overtime and making them work for it, you know, I think that would have been the move I would have made. But again, I don't know. Maybe the gaslight was on with North Carolina's defense and everything. But
we had 2 injuries on the last defensive drive. Aaron Crawford and Dominique Ross both were injured. You take away your 2 plugs in the middle. I think that's a lot that had to do with the call. I'm still like you. They could have went to overtime, but I think at that point, Matt Brown wanted to go for the kill.
And there's nothing wrong either way. I mean, that's my opinion. I see why he went for 2, but if it was me, I don't think I would have done that. But that's pretty much my good, bad, and ugly with you all.
Yeah, so the only thing I want to do the good, bad, and ugly, but what I chime in, because I think both points are valid and they hit everything that I would say. I just think with Matt Brown going for 2, the only thing I would like to add to that is, when I look at it, it's regardless if it works or not, which it didn't work, but it's showing the team that he believes in them, gives them faith, showing I got your back, I'm gonna ride for you. You know what, we're gonna play it, what we're gonna say is all or nothing. And yeah, if it would have worked, he would have been a genius. Unfortunately, it didn't. I agree with what Jaron said about the play selection. I think you could have called a timeout if they had some and called a better play. But all in all, I think you're absolutely right. Just hoping that North Carolina can keep that same focus and play like that. He got.
Well, I mean, I don't think that he needed to give his team confidence, because the confidence, I think they love Matt Brown. And I think they'll ride and die for Matt Brown. But just as far as with going forward, you know, again, that was his choice that he made, and hey, you know, you have to be okay with that, and I think the kids were. It's just that it just didn't work out. You know, the play, I agree, seemed a little. I don't know how to call the play either. That call.
I said that's my only problem with the decision was.
Another good is that freshman quarterback.
Oh, Sam Howell.
He gonna be all right. He gonna be somebody that you probably gonna hear about more and more as his career continues at North Carolina. I think he's showing that he's gonna be a formidable and solid quarterback for North Carolina for at least the next couple of years.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
I agree with that definitely.
So just to kick up the next, Florida State played the night game on the ACC network, 7:30. So my good and bad and ugly when watching that game, the good is they played with 4 quarters of effort. That's what you can ask for 4 quarters of effort. The bad for me were the penalties. I think they had over 100 yards worth of penalties in that game. The ugly was the offensive line giving up 8 sacks. 8. And it's not just the offensive line. Sometimes it was on the quarterback holding the ball too long. You know how that story goes. So I wouldn't say just the quarterback, but just the fact that we gave up 8 sacks in one game. And I just want to add one more ugly if I can. The ACC refs. Oh my gosh, because some of those calls we had. So it was horrible. But that was my take. I don't know, Brian, you have anything from?
I mean, good again would be the effort, and you all were able to put 2 back-to-back games. I mean, that's what you need to be able to get the season going in the right direction. The bad, well, the good also is I like Hornbrook's style and how he's playing too. He plays with a lot more efficiency, and I think that that the team is responding to that, and so it really helps in with what they're trying to do and going from there. As far as the bad, yeah, I would say the penalties, like the roughing, or not the roughing the passer, but some of the penalties, including the targeting.
Yeah.
Toward the end of the game, like he's got to know you can't hit a quarterback like that anymore. I mean, I understand those are great highlight films, and you want to be able to celebrate that, but there's really no place for that anymore in football, right? And there, to me again, I don't think there really was an ugly to it as well.
Those 8 sacks, but with that being said, I'm going to the next week. Florida State on the bye week. They need 2 weeks to prepare for Clemson. So that is this bye week is important, and so is the following week. But what we'll do, since Miami had the bye, we'll go ahead and kick it off. I think y'all have Virginia Tech at 4 p.m. on Saturday.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a good game. It's one that Virginia Tech and Miami have always traditionally had a good game. We're going to see how Miami comes out. I mean, again, Manny Diaz, he says the right things. I just need to see it on the field more. One of the other things we're getting a lot of healthy people coming back. Nelson Silvera should be back, should be available for the game. Bubba Bolden, you should see a Bubba Bolden spot in this week starting. He's finally eligible to be able to play, and that's going to be big back there at that safety position, having somebody that can be able to roam and play the game at the level that they mentioned that he can play. So it'll be good to see everybody back there, and Pope's going to be available as well. So pretty much, we got everybody there. We're gonna see what happens. The big thing is, I still got to see some consistency out of our O-line. Like there were plays, and I'm talking about all the way across the board, that they look more lost than last year's Easter egg. And they really need to come out there and have a good performance against Tech, and we'll see.
Yeah, just one thing. That's what I want to see. Just how your O-line holds up, because Virginia Tech offense, right? That was my assessment.
Where's the game at?
It's in Miami.
Oh, okay.
Miami has like a shoot. It was like maybe a 5-game home stretch.
Oh wow.
So I know the next 2 games, both Virginia Tech and Virginia are at home.
Okay.
So, yeah, man.
I'm like, bro, I'm interested to see how y'all come out, because if y'all come out like y'all did against Florida, y'all all right. Y'all come out how y'all came against us and what's your last one? Central Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Virginia Tech got a lot to prove after getting beat last week, so Because was it Duke that beat the brakes off of Virginia Tech last week?
Yeah, I think it may have been.
So they got to prove something. So y'all got to come with y'all A game.
Yeah.
But I hope y'all lose.
No, I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. So, with that being said, we'll just do our predictions afterwards for both. Or you want to call prediction now between the Virginia Tech and Miami game?
Because of coming off that bye, I think Miami's gonna come out still rusty. I say Virginia Tech is gonna stick it out 28-20. Miami gonna miss an extra point.
Okay, I don't.
I can't say that can't happen.
26 for 25. I'll go next. This is a tough one because I think if Miami line, they don't have to be consistent. It doesn't have to be consistent. I think if they have opportunity to make big plays from what Virginia Tech defense did against Duke, I think their receivers can take advantage if they give Jalen Williams the time to make big plays. I think it's going to be inconsistent, but Miami has put up points. What I'm concerned about is I haven't seen Virginia Tech offense unless Duke went around there with the 85 Bears defense. I mean, they kept them boys for 3 points until like somewhere deep in the fourth quarter. I think they got to 10. It was 45-10, something like that. So I'm going to go with Miami 28, Virginia Tech 17.
Okay. And one, I don't think you're too far off for me in regards for the scoring prediction. And it's more to see what the defense is going to do. I don't have a lot of faith in what Virginia Tech's offense and what they can do, but I think that if our defense comes out there the way they have against Central Michigan and the likes, will help Virginia Tech's offense. And so I look at it being 24-17 Miami.
All right. We're going to go ahead and take a break here. It's a good break point. So, as we keep going with this, the next games and predictions, I'm going to lean to my man over here, JR, for UNC, as they're being hosted by Georgia Tech right here in the A, baby.
First of all, I'll be at this game, so you'll see some. You check out our Instagram page, you'll see some footage from there, because I'll be live from there. I'm anxious to see this game. It should be an easy victory, but I'm anxious to see, as we said in a couple weeks, does Carolina come out with the fire they had against Clemson and Miami? Or do they come out like they did against Wake Forest and Appalachian State? If they come out like Clemson and Miami, this game should be over quick because Georgia Tech does not have an answer for our offense at all.
Georgia Tech don't have an answer for their offense.
They don't have an answer for
your offense.
On paper, it should be a blowout. It should honestly be a blowout.
Yeah, Georgia Tech lost to Citadel.
However, Carolina this year has played down to the competition. They have come out flat at times. They come out flat and Georgia Tech gets some confidence, it can make the game closer than it should be. This game should be one of the first games we played all year where we got our backups playing. But like I say, I'm anxious to see if Mac Brown finally has gotten to that message of our kids that we need to play every game like it's basically our national championship. If we do that, we should be good this week. We really should have a pretty easy time with Georgia Tech. Score. Now I want to say I give us 31-10. 31-10. Carolina will defeat.
Well, in regards to what JR said, it sounds good, but this game is going to be pretty much dog mode. North Carolina is by far the more superior team of the two, and I don't think that Mac Brown's gonna let them come out there feeling one way or another. And I know y'all played down the opponents, but after seeing what y'all did against Clemson, I think it really gave the kids that ability to know what they're capable of for this year, and still continue to try to shock the world. So I was gonna say North Carolina 35, but since JR said 35 with what he said, I'm gonna bump them up 42-10.
Oh Lord, Brown on my side.
I'm gonna keep it simple because I think I don't want to just reiterate the same thing that's already been said. I'm just gonna call it 31-17. UNC.
Where Georgia Tech gonna get 17 points from?
You know, a trick play here, there.
They gonna have a trick and show their offense.
How many tricks they got?
They lost. They scored 10 against.
They ain't got 17 points worth of tricks, but
hey.
17. I'll give it a little. But it's not gonna be a close game like that. I think there's gonna be some late quarter mental things, broken tackle or something. It's gonna be BS touchdowns.
I got you, John.
But since we got the predictions out there, real quick, just to bring up another topic.
You weren't gonna predict Miami?
I already did, didn't I?
No, you did.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, did I?
You was the last one to predict Miami.
Yeah,
Did I say we were gonna win?
Yeah, he actually said y'all gonna win too.
You know that.
I know what he was saying.
He talking about.
I don't know who got y'all losing. I can't chill y'all, darn it. We gotta win the conference.
I don't blame you.
We gotta win the conference.
But real quick, just with what's going on there, taking over the news in the college football landscape, we're just gonna chime in real quick. This pay for play bill that was signed out in California. You know, just I'm gonna give my take and how I think it can affect college football. I think, you know, for the past couple of years, college athletes should get paid, but no one really had a deadline to it. They said it, everybody agreed they should get paid, but there was no deadline to when something's gonna act. I think with this bill being implemented, this in your deadline, NCAA to come up with something is 2023. If you don't, then each state can pass their own to make it legal, which will sort of circumvent your rules. And then everybody's gonna, because that's gonna give states that have the bill passed an unfair recruitment advantage, in my opinion.
Right.
Because if you tell a kid, hey, you come here and you can get paid for your likeness and brand and make good money, I don't know about standing down the street just playing for free, coach. I can start building my brand up early. But that's just my take. Brian, I'll let you.
I think it's going to be very, very interesting. I think what you're seeing now, is it's very premature because we're just seeing just the beginning of everything, and there's going to be a lot more on players than anyone ever thought of or figured in the equation, and with that being said, it's going to basically be very interesting to see what the players and how they handle it, meaning how they negotiate it. Are they allowed? Are they allowed? Are they allowed? What type of particular endorsements and things like that will they take? How will that affect it? So let's say, fictitiously speaking, someone signs a Aquafina deal with someone. All right, so now they can't drink the regular water that everybody else drinks on the sideline. You know, whenever you go somewhere, if someone catches you drinking another type of bottled water somewhere, hey, you know, that might be in conflict with your contract. So now you lose your contract deal. So it might really make players become more professional before they ever become an NFL professional. So it'll definitely be interesting to see what they end up doing, and that's funny. And going from there, but you're only seeing the initial effect of it, and we really haven't seen an effect. It's just what everybody's thinking about what could happen. But I think you're going to definitely see a lot in the next year or two with other states as well, thinking about pushing the bill. And does the NCAA want to get involved with that? or do they want to let everyone else play everything out and then run their hand later?
Yeah, I think there's to have to put some type of rule around it to try to keep it fair.
But what rule can you put around it?
I mean, I guess they can, sort of like you mentioned, whoever your agent is or someone that is that's been vetted by the NCAA to make sure you do your taxes, your money right, to sort of keep track of what's going on, make sure it's legit, not under the table payments. Something like, things like that.
I think it almost like you kind of say, it forces the NCAA to finally stop having to skirt around this issue.
Right.
They've been trying to sit in the background like, we ain't gonna worry about it, it ain't gonna never come. But what this bill is gonna do is, like I say, force them to have to look at this. Do the players deserve something? Yeah, I mean, for what they doing, how much money these schools making off these boys, they do deserve some of the pie. But like I say, just not to keep hitting the dead horse, I really think it's gonna make the NCAA just have to do its due diligence and finally look into this issue.
Yeah, I mean, but I feel like there's going to be a lot more accountability on the players in regards to everything than some might think, because when you're talking about all the things that are going to be involved with this 5-star recruit coming out of California, since California is the one that signed it, since California started that, and what's going to be coming at him, being able to watch what he's doing, because again, the other part about it is, the other piece that's going to be sitting up there knocking at their door is the IRS.
Yeah.
So now you got a 17, 18-year-old that, depending on his family's knowledge, has to worry about what the IRS is talking about.
Yeah, because at that age, you ain't thinking about no taxes.
Yeah, you're not thinking about it, and shoot, and maybe, a lot of your family's not knowledgeable on it. So what do you do then? I don't know. It's definitely gonna be interesting. It's about me.
Not me again.
So, in regards to it, the other thing I was thinking about with it is we even take because again, if you realize it, this goes back to the 90s when Ed O'Bannon had the lawsuit with to get paid for likeness back then that he lost. So it kind of starts going back to even then in the fact of how do these games represent kids' likeness now? Because at the end of the day, will EA Sports be willing to pay for these kids' likeness? Or are they going to be like, hey, we're going to have, you take for example, with EA Sports, with NCAA, they may have, for Cam Akers, a number 5 that runs just like Cam. That's not number 3, but a number 5 that runs just like Cam. So he can't really benefit off that. The other thing is, even with jersey sales, if someone has the number 23 or number 21, how do you know that's your number if they don't put your name on the back of it anymore?
True.
He could have gotten it for another player that was 21 years ago.
Right.
So you can't prove to me that I got your jersey. I got a jersey. So it'll definitely be interesting.
Thank y'all again for watching us this week on Big Six Sports Talk. Follow us on Instagram at Big Six Sports Talk. And once again, check in on that Instagram as my man JL gonna be live there at the Georgia Tech game. Appreciate y'all. We out.